The river that has allowed life to thrive for millennia is now under the threat of disappearance. If you think the decline of the Euphrates only affects the Middle East, you have a wrong perception. We will also feel the consequences of this dramatic development on our own bodies. But what primarily leads to the river drying up, and what does the Bible have to do with it? Stay tuned to find out with us. The Euphrates, originating in the Taurus Mountains of Turkey, has a significant length of 2736 kilometers, making it the largest river in the Middle East. It crosses the borders of Turkey and Syria before finally joining the Tigris in Iraq and flowing into the Persian Gulf. The Euphrates has historically played a crucial role in providing water for various empires, facilitating agriculture in arid regions. Even in ancient times, it served as the lifeline for Mesopotamian civilizations, and its name has influenced subsequent ones, demonstrating the practical properties inherent in the Euphrates. The term Euphrates traces back to the Old Persian language, and it exemplifies the river's ability to transition smoothly through dry seasons from December to March. It's even possible to cross the Euphrates in some places without a boat or raft, as the water level drops to as low as 60 centimeters. As mentioned, the Euphrates has always played an extremely important role in supplying water to coastal states. But humanity perhaps wouldn't be human if water distribution were fair and harmonious. Since the 1970s, several major dams have been built, often becoming the center of political conflicts. Turkey constructed dams in the upper reaches of the river, theoretically gaining the ability to control the river's flow as it saw fit. Unsurprisingly, Syria and Iraq expressed dissatisfaction, sparking even more heated discussions. Tensions escalated when Syria also built the Assad Reservoir, covering an area of 630 kilometers. Following this, the water crisis in Iraq worsened, and experts sounded alarm bells about unrestrained water withdrawals. According to relevant data, 90% of the region's territory has already suffered from anthropogenic impact. The alluvial plain of Mesopotamia, where early civilizations developed writing, legal systems, the wheel, and ceramics, has now almost completely dried up. In the second chapter of the book of Genesis, we read about how God creates the mythical Garden of Eden. In the Old Testament, it is said, "A river flows out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divides and becomes 4 branches, the Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates." Some people suspect that the biblical paradise might not have been as idyllic as commonly believed. No, in reality, the legendary Garden of Eden, depending on interpretation, was said to be located either in the north of Iran or in the Sumerian city of Eridu in southern Iraq. Despite heated debates about its exact location, one thing is indisputable. Even if the Euphrates once flowed through the mystical Eden, this paradise has long been experiencing a dramatic crisis due to intensive water usage in the coastal states of Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. The water flow of the Euphrates has decreased by 40%, and according to grim forecasts, this dramatic development is exacerbated by climate change. However, it's important to note that the consequences of reduced water can vary significantly. While farmers in Turkey may eagerly await the arrival of new pipelines, carrying cool, moist water from the plateaus to the Euphrates, some fields in southern Iraq are now barren. To sustain the water supply for approximately 60 million people in the region, Turkey and Iraq need to work together. Currently, the distribution battles and water struggles have not led to an acceptable outcome for all parties. For hydroelectric power production and agricultural fields downstream, ambitions of Turkey are closely monitored. However, it is certain that every drop diverted there will eventually be missed in Iraq. This is particularly concerning given that the crisis-stricken state heavily relies on the Euphrates, Tigris, and some tributaries for its water supply. Despite gloomy predictions, the current situation in Iraq is a result of the actions of the Ministry of Water Resources in Iraq at that time. Persuasively warned that national water supply would soon fail to meet demand due to water scarcity, the Ministry of Water Resources in Iraq predicted a 20% sharp decline in food production by 2035 compared to the current reality. Comparing this bleak forecast with the present situation indicates that this grim prediction may indeed come true. Dried up lakes and unsuccessful harvests could be mere harbingers of a more dramatic future. Iraq and Turkey have thus far failed to reach an agreement on Euphrates water distribution. Although the Iraqi government has long insisted on contractual frameworks with fixed shares from Turkey, the issue has yet to be addressed. The reason is that due to the unpredictable consequences of climate change, agreeing on a fixed quantity of water allocation becomes challenging. As a result, the two conflicting parties sometimes seem to get lost in petty disputes, consuming precious time. Turkey, for instance, urges Iraq to use water more efficiently, suggesting refraining from rice cultivation. Iraqi negotiators counter this reproach by asking why Turkey grows cotton in water-scarce conditions. The response they receive is that it's simply part of Turkey's history. However, considering the countless Iraqi fields lying under unintentional water, where water buffaloes have already perished in agony, such discussions appear extremely apocalyptic. Concluding our today's video, we'd like to explore the alarming developments on the Euphrates from a somewhat alternative perspective. If we follow the beliefs of some deeply religious Christians, Turkey and Iraq might cease negotiations altogether, as the impending catastrophe cannot be averted anyway. Accordingly, we are currently witnessing a process that has been predicted many centuries ago, inevitably leading to the demise of the world. In fact, the creation of the Garden of Eden is not the only biblical passage mentioning this significant river. We also find references in the last chapter of the sacred scriptures, specifically in the apocalyptic revelation of John. The book you are referring to is the Book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. The authorship is attributed to the Apostle John, but the exact date of writing is a subject of debate. Scholars generally place it around the end of the 1st century AD, approximately 95-96 AD, during John's exile on the island of Patmos. The Book of Revelation is known for its apocalyptic style and symbolism, describing mysterious visions and predictions of the end times. In the book, events are narrated in the first person, and it takes the form of messages to the 7 churches. After the 7 messages and the vision of the throne of God, the mysterious book with 7 seals is opened. The first 4 seals release the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, bringing war, famine, disease, and death upon humanity. After the 5th seal is opened and the souls of martyrs appear, the 6th seal causes cosmic disturbances. Following these events, many people flee to the mountains. A group of 144,000 righteous individuals is marked on their foreheads as true servants of the Creator. Then, 7 angels give 7 trumpets, unleashing new calamities on the earth, including a burning mountain, a star named wormwood polluting water sources, a plague, and locusts. The sounding of the next trumpet leads us back to the dying Euphrates. According to Revelation, 4 angels now emerge from the Euphrates, destroying a third of the Earth's population with fire, smoke, and sulfur. To assess how the threatening drying of the river aligns with the biblical apocalypse, we turn again to the Book of Revelation, specifically chapters 16, 12-16, where it mentions the 6th angel pouring his bowl on the great river Euphrates, causing its waters to dry up, preparing the way for the kings from the east. Now, how do we evaluate interpretations by conservative Christians? Does the current unfolding of events, officially based on the effects of climate change and the varied interests of individual states, align with what is described in Revelation? Or is the decrease in the Euphrates River level rooted in something that may not be immediately apparent? It's a matter that understandably raises concerns. Thank you for being with us until the end. Feel free to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Now, we're eager to hear your opinion. What do you think about the connection between the events in the Euphrates and the Book of Revelation?